Welcome back to the NALCS Regional Playoffs, and right now I'm happy to be joined by TSM support X-Special. Now, X-Special, congratulations. What an important win here for you guys. 0-4 against CLG in the regular season, but this is the one that mattered.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't matter what score you had as long as you get into playoffs. At that point, it's whoever plays the best. And even though we were 0-4, we were confident knowing that we've been playing extremely well, and we just did exactly what we did in scrims, that we played really well, and we beat them.
Yeah, you all played really well. And tell me about that game one, because it was still pretty close, and then you managed to get Baron and win that fight. Tell me about that.
It's surprising. CLG, I mean, they've been a team that doesn't really prioritize Barons and Dragons and whatnot. We got every single Dragon in that game pretty much, and we lost 2 crucial team fights, but because we were ahead from objectives, we were able to come back in the game, and we managed to sneak the Baron because we had complete objective control. And that's something that CLG has always lacked, and it showed in this game.
So tell me about, you banned out a lot of double lifts, a lot of AD carries, and then you went for Ashe, something something we don't see double lifts on that much. So was that a surprise to you guys?
It was a bit of a surprise, but I think a lot of teams have been picking up Ashe Zara. I don't think we're going to play it just because we're not very comfortable with it. But Ashe Zara is traditionally a strong lane, and they did very well in lane. Like, we weren't able to kill him, which is unfortunate. But yeah, they played their comp extremely well. That's how we lost the first team fights, where they just kited back. But because we just had a gold lead, we just managed to come back.
So tell me a little bit about the atmosphere in the team, because we've all seen the stuff that's popped up on YouTube and Reddit. So how do you make sure that the atmosphere is top when you come into such an important match?
I don't think we've talked about anything negative for the past, like, half a week, just because oftentimes what people see on stream, game crit, whatnot, it's a small sample size of exactly what happens. And honestly, to me, it felt like the community was a lot more vocal than some of the team. Like, we just blew it off. Like, it's not a big deal. Every team goes through arguments. So that's what a lot of people don't realize. And sure, it's not good for the team, but at the same time, every team has learned to move on. And I've talked to other managers, coaches, whatnot, happens.
It happens, of course. And I got to talk to you about the huge support you got here. You're still an incredibly popular team. Is there anything you want to say to all these fans here?
I love you guys. I mean, we were here last year, and we took NA regionals. We were here, well, when we're here, but we won 2 NA regionals. We won the last split. I mean, our fans love us, and we love them. And we have the biggest support out of any NA team. And that's because we're one of the best, and we're going to show why we are the best this weekend again.
Talking about showing you're the best, tomorrow up against Vulcan, so important. How strong do you think they are right now?
Vulcan is very good. They've been playing extremely well, especially at the end of the split. They went 5-0, beat out Cloud9, beat out us, and there's no reason to expect they won't do well. We managed to chill against CLG, but CLG is a very strong team. And we traditionally have a really hard time against CLG, so after beating CLG like this, I'm pretty confident against Vulcan, but we can't underestimate them. They're good. And we know that. We just beat them.
Well, thank you very much, X-Special. Hope that's a great match tomorrow. And as for us, we're going to send it over to Jat and Riv over at the desk.
Thank you very much, Shox. And with our first quarterfinal series in our rearview mirror, let's take a look at the updated playoff bracket. With their win, Team Solomid moves into the semifinal round, where they'll face off against Vulcan on Saturday.
Meanwhile, CLG drops into the 5th place match, where they await the loser of our next quarterfinal series, Curse versus Team Dignitas. And that loss also means, Riv, that CLG will not be participating in the Season 3 World Championship.
And while CLG lost their chance to go to Los Angeles, there's still time for you to punch your ticket to the Season 3 World Championship. On Saturday, August 31st, we will be releasing more tickets for the World Championship final being held at the Staples Center. The tickets will go on sale Saturday at noon Pacific and 2100 Central European Time.
Plus, there are still a few tickets available for the semifinal round taking place at USC's Galen Center. There, the top 4 teams from around the world will battle for their shot at the $1 million prize and the Summers Cup. Last year's semifinal saw Azubu Frost take out CLG EU, and then the eventual champions TPA shut down Moscow 5 on their way to the title.
And for full details on how to purchase your tickets, go to the Season 3 World Championship. Head over to lolesports.com. You know the website. You vote there every day.
And one team that's looking to win their way into their first World Championship is Curse. After taking 4th at PAX last year and again this spring, Cop and crew are looking to cleanse the jinx and finally finish forever first?
After we placed fourth and the whole team got a depressed, like really sad because we didn't make it to the Worlds for season 2.
CLG taking out Cursed Gaming.
And Cursed fourth place once again.
Seems like their destiny every year.
After the Super Week, after the season end, it's like, well, we fourth again.
It just somehow just keeps happening.
It's just a mixture of bad luck and circumstances.
Just how it ends up all the time, so I don't really think it was a curse or anything.
In some of the past tournaments, we have placed fourth, and you know, we've, I guess, developed a little stigma of curse forever fourth, but we have to break that stigma.
First week of this LCS split was pretty rough just because we had 1 day to practice with Edward.
My English was not that good, like maybe right now.
I thought Edward would be like really communicative, and I just listen to him and just follow every move he does.
It was definitely a transitioning period, not only for Edward, but for the whole team, to just come to terms with each other and try to learn how to best play in the current meta.
It's tough when you lose consistently and you have really bad weeks. Morale takes a massive hit. We really had to nitpick exactly why we were losing these games. And we put everything under a magnifying glass and figured it all out. Sometimes you hit your best stride when you've hit kind of rock bottom.
That was the worst game I've ever played in my life.
We had a pretty big meeting last night, and we learned what we had to do to win. And so if we just focus on that, I think we can easily take top 3 just because everyone's so close right now.
We try really hard, practice every day, get ready, and now we are like much stronger.
We're now better prepared. We had an amazing Super Week. You know, we almost went 5-0.
We usually like snowball off of winning, so like going 4-1 is gonna help us out a lot. We're much more confident, we're not fighting as much. Just have a better mentality of things right now.
I think it was really good that that amazing week came at the end of the season because this is a time when momentum means everything.
Games in the beginning of the season, they don't mean as much as the playoffs do. Our goal is to place top 3 at PAX and qualify for Worlds and go from there.
Of course, everyone want to go to Worlds, and everyone is really confident because we have a good record against DIG. It's like do 1, and we usually do well.
We're going into playoffs, like trying to perform at our best, and hopefully if we finish above 4th place and I guess break the curse or whatever, then that's exactly what we want to do, because that would mean we got a spot to Worlds and we're on our way.
And a really great video to show what it takes. It's not just 5 guys going to play a game. It's you're living with other people. There's trials and tribulations. You heard the other interview. You know, teams argue. These things happen, and being a fan, we just watch these guys play day in and day out with their blood, sweat, and tears for that every week.
Exactly. And Curse is a team that does seem to be coming together a bit more as a team. They've had a bit of roster shakeout. They lost elements from the spring split, brought in Edward, but that team does seem to be able to gel a bit now.
All right, I think the fans are ready for that one. But we got to take a short break and do a caster lane swap. But when we return, it's our second quarterfinal fight of the day. Curse versus Team Dignitas. The NALCS Regional Playoffs live from PAX Prime. We'll be right back.